Ready for a game changer? Skirk's full kit is finally out, and it's not your typical cryo character. Tired of press a button and forget gameplay? Skirk just might be your next obsession. Let's dive deep into everything you need to know and why this high-skill cryo queen could dominate your teams or drive you crazy. Alright, we finally have the full kit details for Skirk. In this video, I'll walk you through her gameplay, mechanics, and potential, helping you decide if she's worth your precious primogems or better left in the shadows. The 5.7 beta just dropped. We don't have her in-game animations yet, but we do have her complete stats and abilities, and let me tell you, they are layered. Whether she becomes a favorite or a headache will depend on how much you enjoy complex characters. At level 90, Skirk comes with a pretty impressive stat line. She boasts 12,417 health points, giving her a good amount of survivability, which is essential for a character who thrives in risky, on-field combat. Her base attack sits at 359, which might not seem sky-high, but when you factor in her weapon, passives, and critical scaling, it forms a solid backbone for consistent damage output. Defensively, she has 86 base defense. It's not her main focus, but it's just enough to help her resist some incoming damage, especially when she's in her enhanced mode with boosted interruption resistance. Now, the real star here is her Ascension stat, a whopping plus 38.4% critical damage. Characters that ascend with crit damage tend to hit like trucks once properly built, and Skirk is no exception. Altogether, these stats make it clear, Skirk is designed for players who love hunting for those massive, satisfying crit numbers and turning the battlefield into their personal playground. Now, let's talk about her signature weapon because it's definitely something that complements her playstyle beautifully. Her sword comes with a massive 608 base attack, giving her a strong raw stat to amplify her normal and burst damage right from the get-go. But that's just the beginning. On top of that, the weapon also offers a hefty 33.1% critical rate boost. And we all know, stacking crit rate and crit damage together is where the real magic happens for DPS characters like Skirk. The real spice, though, is in the passive. After casting her elemental skill, Skirk gains a 24% attack bonus for 12 seconds, which is already a nice burst of power to capitalize on during her enhanced phases. But it doesn't stop there. If her energy is sitting at 0, she unlocks an additional 24% attack bonus on top of that, and wait for it, a massive 40% increase in critical damage. That's a lot of extra firepower just for managing her energy and timing her skills well. So not only does this weapon boost her fundamental stats, but it also directly rewards you for mastering her unique Energiless Burst mechanic, making it almost tailor-made for her kit. It's the kind of weapon that feels like it was designed specifically for players who want to push Skirk's crazy potential to the absolute limit. Now here's where things get really interesting. Unlike most characters in Genshin, Skirk's elemental burst doesn't consume energy at all. Instead, she uses a special resource called Serpent Subtlety. You can build up these stacks by using her elemental skill, landing hits during her enhanced mode, or triggering elemental reactions that create what are called void rifts. Every time you tap or hold her skill, you're going to instantly gain 45 stacks of Serpent Subtlety. And trust me, you'll need them because managing this resource carefully is the core of playing Skirk well. It's not just about spamming abilities, it's about timing, decision-making, and maximizing her crazy burst potential. Her elemental skill is where the real magic begins. If you simply tap the skill, Skirk immediately enters an enhanced state called 7-phase flash. But if you hold it instead, she enters a special controllable dash, zooming around the field and manually ending it when you want, or automatically when the timer runs out. Now, once she's in 7-phase flash, everything changes. Her normal and charged attacks get converted to cryo damage, their AoE and raw damage output get ramped up significantly, and best part, she gains massive interruption resistance. So she can just keep swinging even when enemies are trying to knock her around. Oh, and did I mention, while she's in this mode, she can sprint across water. Yup, actual water, not ice bridges. It's a small touch, but it really emphasizes her unique feel compared to other cryo units like a Yako or Mona. But there's a catch, of course, there's a downside. While in 7-phase flash, her Serpent Subtlety stacks are constantly draining. If they hit 0, or if you swap out Skirk manually, she falls out of her enhanced form and her skill goes on cooldown. That means you can't just button mash with her. You'll need to plan your sequences carefully to maximize her uptime and damage. Outside of her enhanced state, Skirk has a fairly standard 5-hit normal combo, nothing too flashy there. But her charged attack is a little more interesting. She throws a spinning pole in a straight line, dealing cryo damage to everything it hits. It's not a game changer by itself, but it's fantastic for controlling crowds and lining up reactions. Her burst is where everything gets turbocharged. When you activate it, Skirk consumes at least 50 Serpent serpent subtlety stacks to unleash a series of cryo slashes over a wide area. The more stacks you have above 50, the more bonus damage scaling you get, which makes stacking and timing super important if you want to hit those gigantic nukes. If you trigger her burst during 7-phase flash, it changes into rapid onslaught. This version doesn't consume serpent subtlety at all. Instead, it applies a buff called withering, which increases Skirk's normal attack damage for each hit she lands, stacking up to 10 times. So not only are you dishing out a flurry of icy slashes, but you're powering up even further with every swing. Here's where team play comes in. When your team triggers reactions like Frozen, Superconduct, Cryo Swirl, or Cryo Crystallize, a Void Rift appears on the field. Skirk can absorb these rifts using her charged attack, her burst, or even her held dash, and each rift gives her 8 extra Serpent Subtlety stacks. Basically, smart team building around elemental reactions lets you extend her uptime and her damage even longer. And the best part, Skirk doesn't even need to trigger the reaction herself. Anyone on the team can do it. If you pair her with Hydro and Cryo characters, things get even crazier. Thanks to her passive Death's Crossing, every Cryo or Hydro teammate that deals damage adds a stacking buff to Skirk, massively boosting both her normal and burst damage during 7-phase flash. With a full setup, you're looking at bonuses of up to 170% for normals and 160% for burst. Plus, if you have both Hydro and Cryo units together, she gives your entire team +1 level to all elemental skills, which can seriously matter in tight damage windows. At Constellation 1, Skirk's Void Rift absorption becomes aggressive, triggering a giant Cryo explosion every time she grabs a rift, and it scales off a ridiculous 500% of her attack. Constellation 2 gives her even more subtlety stacks and raises the burst damage ceiling. And by the time you hit Constellation 6, she becomes an absolute force of nature, unlocking a move called Foul Art Slash that adds bonus hits, combo slashes, and even counterattacks when she takes damage. Skirk is a high-skill, tempo-driven cryo DPS who rewards players willing to plan, react, and micromanage their on-field performance. She's perfect for players who love characters like Itto or Sinnoh, those who enjoy big burst windows, careful timing, and calculated aggression. If you prefer a simple, press-and-done gameplay style, Skirk might not be for you. But if you love mastering a character and watching your payoff explode across the battlefield, she might just be your next favorite unit. Final questions to you. Does the idea of an Energiless burst feel refreshing or intimidating to you? And are you excited to see just how deep the rabbit hole goes with her 7-phase flash? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown helped you, smash that like button and start prepping your cryo artifacts now, because once her full animations drop, you're going to want to be ahead of the curve. And don't forget, if you're planning to top up for her, save up to 25% using lootbar.gg. Link is right there in the description. Stay tuned, because I'll keep you updated with every new beta reveal.